Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome back to this AFK journey video. So in today's AFK journey video, we're going to talk about Relentless Rumble. This game has been out for quite a few days, and in today's video, we are going to break down the different monsters from Brawl 1 to Brawl 3. So I will be using my test server account to showcase Brawl 3 and talking about how to tackle all the different brawls to maximize your damage. Okay, now for today's video, I'll also be showcasing the best teams for Brawl 1 as well as Brawl 2 shared by my friend. So I'm not sure whether or not this is the highest kill count, but he is one of the strongest guys in our district with a whole bunch of Paragon units and also maxed out weapons. So his account is super duper stacked up, and for this game mode, I think you probably need quite a bit of stats for you to get like more kills, right? Because you need to min-max your damage, and then if you have the optimal units, you'll be able to do better, and then you get like better kills from there. Honestly speaking, it's not that important to me because the ranking part doesn't really give you additional rewards. But for those of you guys who want to chase after the best team, I'm going to share his runs showcased in his video and then talk about the different units he used. So without further ado, let's run through the units first. Let's run through the individual brawls and then talk about what you want to use for each of the brawls over here. So number one, we have the quicksand shooter. So this is a 5 minion spawn bot. So this spawn is able to actually come really quickly, and my most optimal team is actually one which features the usual AoE team for me. So I use Lily May together with Taylin together with Arden, and then I just use my the Starshot spell. I think this is probably the best against multiple enemies, and then I just like do a lot of AoE damage, quickly kill them off, and then maximize my kills based on whatever I have. However, one thing I realized with regards to the min-maxing of the units is that in order for you to keep the Taylin uptime on Taylin's ultimate over here, you need to not kill them all at one shot. Like, you need to keep at least one on the board, because if all of them die, what will happen is Taylin will stop her ultimate, and Taylin's ultimate is actually super duper impactful in lowering the HP of many units all at once for your other units to come in and take the kill. So specifically for this boss, I think if you don't have Taylin, just run all the standard AoE units to just quickly kill as many units as possible, because the next unit will only start spawning when you kill the previous one, and it takes a little bit of time for that new unit to come up. There's this like inbound time for them to drop down and then get the HP bar. So let's say if you kill them too quickly, if you have a Taylin, what will happen is your Taylin will stop channeling the ultimate, and that's where you lose quite a bit of damage. So for me right here, my Taylin is able to channel the full ultimate. This is not the best team setup, by the way. This is like my own best team, because the best team setup actually consists of the use of Brawl as well as Mikola, if I remember correctly. So I'll showcase later. So this is the best team for myself. AoE plus maximum uptime on Taylin. So this is 107 kills. Now let's move on to my friend's video. Right, so this video over here shared with us. Okay, so for him, if you take a look at the team, it's Taylin, Mikola, Brawl as well as Cassidy. So first, let's talk about the units. Brawl is there to generate additional bodies for you to maintain the attack buff uptime on Mikola, and then you just output AoE damage with the use of Cassidy as well as Taylin. Okay, so this is the best team, and without further ado, let's start this video. Okay, let me zoom in. Yeah, I think this is okay. Let's start the video. Okay, so you can see Taylin as well as Brawl doing quite a bit of damage, but Brawl's or B-Roll's role here, as you guys can see, is to spawn that body for you to hold onto that honor arena in the middle of the board. Because this honor arena gives your whole team more attack, so your Cassidy hits harder, your Taylin hits harder, and then, right, because you have all the different summons on the battlefield, Brawl or B-Roll also hits really hard. So this is a maximum buff time on your team. For me, I tried the team, but because I don't have Brawl in my account, right? What happens is that I use Shakir in Brawl's place, and I can't actually hold on to the arena consistently, because once like 4 or 5 enemies spawn onto the arena, I immediately lose control without Brawl in the team, because Brawl is there to generate the body and give you additional stats. So that's the purpose of Brawl. So this is like technically the best team shared by one of the stronger accounts in the game. So this is for those of you guys who want to min-max your kill counts for the best run against this specific brawl. Okay, for the Igor one, I think the idea of Igor is pretty similar. It's also reliant on the Mikola buff. So I'll showcase my best team first and then talk about the best team shared by my friend. Okay, so going back into my own account right here, right? For Igor's case, Igor's buff is foresight, just initial energy. It's not going to matter too much because you're going to kill off the Igor really, really quickly. But for Igor's case, because Igor is a unit that is super duper annoying to deal with, either you burst him down super duper fast before allowing him to jump or spawn another tombstone, or you burst him down with OD. So for my case, I did about 43 max kills, so this is my run. So using OD as well as a bunch of Maulers. I also use the Mikola buff together with Shakir. So against Igor specifically, because I have Shakir and Mikola in the box, I also have OD in the box, I'm able to hold on to the arena quite consistently. So this is why this is efficient for me. It's not efficient for me in the previous one because without Barrel, without that silhouette spawning ability, I don't hold on to the Mina arena that much for me to get that maximum buff. So right here we go with the Residing spell to give the buff on Shakir, for Shakir to maintain the Lupine aura for like as long in the battle as possible. So that's the rationale for using this buff on Shakir. So because on this map, right, the most units that will spawn at any time is 2. So Starshot spell is still really good. You can use Starshot spell as well, but I think Starshot spell is not crucial in min-maxing your damage. You just need to finish off that 2 summons ASAP, so you don't need the AoE ability. So same thing, you want to maintain that ultimate uptime on Tailin if you have Tailin. If you don't have Tailin, then what I can suggest is use Lily May. Lily May is also pretty good because Lily May is a good single target unit that deals a lot of damage as well. So Lily May is able to bring this Igors down really fast and then let OD snap them off with OD's ultimate. Okay, so this is for my own account. So you can see that Shakir is able to transform and maintain the uptime on his Lupine aura right here. So Shakir as well as Mikola bouncing around will provide the buff on OD and also the buff on Mikola, the buff on Tailin from time to time, and then we have the buff from Smokey to hit the Igor super duper hard. So for me it's 43 with about 44. If I manage to insta kill this, it's 44 for myself. Okay, so for this Igor minion itself, I'll say OD is quite important because insta killing reduces the downtime on the spawn. Because once Igor reaches a certain threshold, he just instantly pop, right? Because if you don't have OD, what you need to grind down the HP bar of Igor until like it is finished, right? But for OD's case, OD is able to insta kill like a little bit more, so you are able to quickly bring the Igor down to send in the next unit. So this is for those of you guys who don't have like some of the more meta or more premium units like Barrel together with Tailin, for example. Use Lily May with OD, very good unit here. So next, let's move on to my friend's replay, right, with regards to this Brawl 2. So his record is actually 50 kills. So let me switch out the videos a little bit, give me a moment. So over here, right, so his is 50 kills. So let's take a look at what he used over here. So same combi, right, Biro together with Mikola, so just spawn a lot of units to maintain control, and then he has Cassidy as well as Lily May to be the damage dealer. So for this one, I think if let's say you don't have Cassidy and Lily May to sort of do the maximum damage, I think like I mentioned, OD and Lily May works as well. But because if you take a look at his units over here, he has quite a bit of stars, and I think for Cassidy's case, because Cassidy has a magical defense down, which also allows your other units to hit a little bit harder to bring down that boss. And for Igor over here, because you're able to bring them down super fast, insta killing is not the end all be all, right? If you can just hit the Igor as hard as possible to bring him down before he spawns another tombstone to start jumping around, it's also okay. So we're gonna run through the replay and then see what he does here. Okay, a very stacked up account. As usual, always amazed by the tiers as well as the star. So you can see his Lily May just insta killing the Igor before they even start doing anything. And for Biro's case, Biro is to spawn for the stats as well as also some damage on Igor. So many tombstone, and the tombstone is not even the Igor's tombstone. The tombstone is the Silhouette's tombstone because the oh my god, I can't. There's too many tombstone. This is not very good for me. I'm sensitive to too many tombstones. Look, so all these tombstones are from the Silhouette because the Igor will always be isolated. So whenever the Igor spawn, they will be isolated, and Barrel will be able to spawn the Silhouette. And you can see that the moment the Igor comes out, gets sniped by Lily May as well as Cassidy. So 50 kill with this very premium team right here, very strong. Okay, so for the third brawl itself, it's not out yet. But for the third brawl, I can give some suggestions for it. But I think the best team should probably still go in this idea of using Barrel, Mikola, and Smokey to give your team maximum buff. Yeah, so this is the 50 kill team for those of you guys who are chasing after the best team. Now let's move on to the very last brawl and run through what the minions do. Okay, so for the brawl 3 side, we're on the test server. This minion over here, Audio Winso, has a really high magical damage reduction. But I think what this minion does is just really hard to deal with your normal magical units. But if we take a look at the rankings of some of the players here, as you guys can see, 25, and I'm at 12 kills, right, with my very underdeveloped account, I think the strongest team should still be Mikola with Barrel, and maybe with the likes of Smokey. And for the carry of choice, I think maybe Dino could be a good option as a physical attacker to max out your damage. So with regards to that, I think you guys can definitely play around. But I think Mikola together with our dear Biro, if you have him with the Silhouette, the EX weapon for maximum damage, and obviously your Shakir, maybe your Taylin, or even your Lily May plus a Cassidy should still be the best damage, because the combination of Lily May and Cassidy, they just hit so hard that it doesn't matter whether or not you got damage reduction, because the physical units, they just don't do as much, even though their damage don't get reduced, right? So that's why I still think that combo is still the best, because you get the maximum buff with this combination here, and then you just slot in like your strongest carries and units to sort of maximize your DPS to kill the minions as fast as possible to increase your kill count. For me on this account, I'll showcase my best team. So go with this one. Yeah, AoE is not going to do that much. We're gonna go with OD for that super duper fast insta kill, and we are going to go with Iron for like some debuffs. Yeah, there's not a lot of summons, so I don't think Starshot is that good. So Starshot is probably good on the first map because there's a lot of summons, but at any time against Igor as well as this Winso over here, you only have 2 spawns. So I don't think Starshot is the best. Like, I think Resonating should still be the best to just buff up the damage output on one of your carries. Okay, so right here you can see that I'm not holding on to the arena. So holding on to the arena for Mikola to sort of offer the maximum buff for the whole team is important. So that's why if you have Mikola, then you have to consider this holding on to the arena thing, because the minions will always spawn inside the arena. So at any time, if you don't have more units than the opponent in the arena, you will lose control, and then you don't get that attack buff from Mikola skill itself. Yeah, so I think I'm doing a little bit worse. I think because I'm not holding on to the arena. Let me just reset on this account first. I'm gonna put Odi here, I'm gonna put Smokey here, put Limi here, I guess. Yeah, should be okay. Yeah. Maybe I want to use Florbell. Oh yeah, Florbell is actually a decent unit as well, because Florbell is a physical attacker. So Florbell is able to hold onto the arena with the kids and also offer physical damage against the Winso, which is strong against the magical damage dealers. Yeah, but I think for most people, their stronger unit should still be all these magical damage dealers. So you just have to play around killing them as fast as possible with your magical units. Yeah, so you can see that this minion, they always spawn in the middle. So if you are kicked out of the arena, then you lose control. So using Biro, you will always spawn the Silhouette when the summon spawns. So you always have more units than them. So that's the purpose why Biro is really good for this mode together with Mikola, because you just hold onto control onto the arena for maximum buff. Yeah, so anyway, I'm not doing very well for this one, but that's pretty much it for this one. Just a simple showcase for this Winso over here. Gonna be, I'll say, like very low Q count for Brawl 3, simply due to the massive damage reduction for the magical damage side by this minion over here. So I'm not holding on to the arena, unfortunately, because my units are all stuck at the corner already. Okay, so my max was 12 kills, so I think this one I could probably get like 11 or 12, I guess. Should be level 12, because OD should be insta-killing this one, and then OD should be insta-killing that one. Can we kill this one in time? I don't think so. Yeah, we're left with 3 seconds. Okay, so yeah, 10 here. 10 here. So I just optimize a little bit and see whether I can get more kills. But it doesn't matter. At least to me for this account, just get enough, right, to get your quest done. I'm still missing quite a bit of kills for this one. But if you take a look at the rankings over here, right, like the top kills are 25. So Brawl 3 is challenging. Unless you have a very strong physical team, I think moving around the idea of Biru, Dino, Sinbad, I think maybe you could do more with a physical team like I mentioned just now. Yeah, but if not, that's pretty much it for this video. Just a simple showcase of the 3 different brawls as well as the best teams for Brawl 1 and Brawl 2, and then what is possibly also the best team for Brawl 3. And I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.